On this week's episode, my dad talks about Kanye West running for president. I'm officially moved to Baltimore, but one of my former employees tested positive for coronavirus, so I can't see my parents until I get my test back. Also, my parents review Hamilton. They watched it on Disney Channel the other day.
All the laughs without the anxiety. Mike Klein presents My Jewish Parents.
Yes, it's a Jewish parent.
Wait a minute.
So I successfully moved back to Maryland, but we're not together still because I got exposed to COVID-19 before I left Greenville. Literally within like hours before I left, one of my old coworkers tested positive for coronavirus.
Coronavirus!
So I got a test, and I have not gotten my results back.
Taking about 2 weeks time to get results.
Really?
Is it taking that long? Yeah.
2 weeks.
So they're saying Monday. So
Took me 2 weeks to get results months ago. It's just back to what it was. You know, because more people get sick, more people take tests, takes longer to turn it around, which defeats the whole purpose of taking a test.
right.
The purpose of taking a test is to find out if you have it. If you have it, then you isolate yourself and you find out who you're in contact with and you control it. But if you find out you have it 2 weeks after you're walking around with it, what good does that do? You've already infected all those people.
God, I work.
So the whole thing is stupid. Yeah. You know, I mean, it's not efficient. Not efficient.
So I have to wait till Monday. I guess they're saying the last day is Monday because I guess 4th of July weekend they were closed. They weren't doing anything. And so that Friday of last week and then this past Saturday and Sunday and then this Saturday and Sunday. It takes 5 to 7 business days. So it's almost like 9 days. I don't have any symptoms. I feel fine.
Okay.
But
Can we see your face, Don Avi?
Yeah. Possible to lower that.
There you are.
There you are. That's better.
Yeah, no one else can see this but you guys, and then the phone doesn't hold itself.
Okay.
Remember? So I went from jail in Greenville to jail in Baltimore now because I can't really see anybody. All my friends are like, all my friends
been walking around.
Mom, don't say that. All my friends are basically telling me they will not hang out with me until I have a proof of a test now. Nobody will hang with me. And I'm like, I didn't do anything wrong. Like, well, you've been exposed. It was kind of a mess. So
what you need to do is get a letter of recommendation from Trump.
From Trump? Okay. Maybe he'll give me a letter of recommendation.
Everyone believes Trump, so if you get a letter of recommendation, you're okay. Because that's a fantasy statement, so forget it.
That's a fantasy.
Yeah, so that's going on right now, and so I feel like I'm in jail, and hopefully I'll have an update so I can hang out with you. Now you guys thought I was being over dramatic because I needed to borrow Dad's car because a friend of mine is going to be driving up my car this weekend, actually, from Greenville. Hopefully,
is he coming this weekend with your car?
Yeah, hopefully not with COVID-19, and then I'm going to have it sprayed down, I guess. I'm scared. He's bringing it.
No, you could go. They'll spray it. If you check one of the dealers or something.
Really?
Yeah, they'll spray it
That's not a bad
disinfecting and stuff. Trump is good at that. He'll get some Clorox and spray your car.
Yeah, he'll also drink it with you too, apparently.
Yeah.
On the way out of me moving out, and you know I've been kind of a mess with this moving out of this apartment complex, but they charged me money. They charged me all this money to exit out. They do this at every apartment complex, but I was trying to get out of it because of the lack of a job, and they wouldn't let me out of it. Well, now they did a surprise test around the apartment, and now they're telling me are you ready for this? They're saying one of the burners on the stove is burnt, and I'm like, no, wait a second, I don't cook. No way. They're claiming it's me. So there you go. Apartment complexes are hard to get out of.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
So anyway, so that's the update from Greenville. But I was being over dramatic because I needed to borrow Dad's car, and you drove me, and I sat in the back of the car with my mask on, and the windows rolled down. So what is the update there? Is there any COVID things going on there?
We have 0 cases.
Well, we haven't heard of anything.
No cases.
Yeah.
Are they updating you guys all the time about cases?
Yeah, we're fine. Except for the food, we're fine.
Oh, the food's still bad? What's wrong with the food?
The food is bad.
They're going to start a program where we can go pick up some real fresh hot foods.
Hot food, yeah.
Yeah, we can order it and bring it up.
Well, I'd bring you food if I was able to pass through the coronavirus test, but apparently that takes 6 months to get an actual test done. So
I know.
Otherwise, I would be glad to help you guys out. But anyways, you've already put me to work. So like, I've been here, I moved everything in, and there was some stuff that I took a couch from you guys' house, was it last year, and a table, and you made me bring it back. And then I had to put it in my brother's new condo. He wasn't there. And my mom was there, and I had to do it all by myself because I didn't want you guys to I literally thought I was going to die that day carrying that couch in there by myself. I don't even know how I did it. It was pretty crazy.
It was real crazy. And you were sweating. It was so hot.
I just couldn't breathe because of the mask.
Yeah, that's true. And it was also hot.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's definitely why, because it was really hot outside if it wasn't that hot. But now I know, like, in the future, like, they should let me move in and everybody should just get out of the way, and then so I can't compromise anybody. So a lot of states are doing these mandatory wear a face mask thing now.
Yeah.
South Carolina, I guess, is trying to do it now after I left. Of course, now they're getting better now that I left or whatever. But there's this one guy, this crazy guy, he walked into a Costco, and this happened in Fort Myers, Florida, and he just started screaming at some older lady at the Costco, refused to wear a mask and told her to back off.
You're coming close to me. You're coming close to me.
Back off! Threaten me again!
They had him removed. The police had him removed. They didn't have him arrested. They just had him removed from the place because you got to wear. Costco's been doing the masking before anything. They were doing it like right away. Like that was a big thing for them. Right. So like this guy just like lost his mind. A lot of people are doing this around the country where they're getting into arguments with grocery stores and stuff like that. And some of these videos people are recording these videos and then they're sending, and it's getting out there and people are losing their jobs because nobody wants, to have anybody work for them that's this crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking about doing it, see if I can get a job that way. No, I'm kidding. And now the biggest thing that everyone, you know how toilet paper was a thing that everybody was buying?
Yeah.
Now it's beach chairs. People are buying beach chairs like crazy. Oh, they're out of stock everywhere.
Let me tell you about toilet paper.
Oh, boy. All right.
There was a big shortage of toilet paper. Then suddenly they got a lot of toilet paper. If you take your toilet paper and tear it off, crumbles in your hands like disintegrates, like a piece of thin paper.
Okay.
It's the paper. What happened was they took all that paper that they sold to restaurants and stores and turned it around and put it in the grocery stores for people for home use.
Wow, I didn't know that.
So it's not the same kind of toilet paper you used before. I think people are taking advantage because it's thinner toilet paper. But anyway, it's,
Where'd you get toilet paper from? Where'd you get it from, Costco?
Yeah, you can get it now.
Okay.
They turned it around and all that stuff they were shipping to restaurants, which are all closed. They now put it in supermarkets and in household places like Giant and Safeway and
Whole Foods.
Those places. Yeah. I listened to a speech today in Pennsylvania. I forgot what city in Pennsylvania by Joe Biden. And it was a great speech. He really talked about uniting the country, getting everybody together and not fighting over masks and other things, but just getting together and solving the problem. I was really impressed with the speech. He seemed like he cared about this.
Right.
And he seemed understanding of the situation.
What is your thoughts of Kanye West now putting his name in the hat to be the president?
Kanye West Jr. with Donald Trump Sr. They share some stable genius problems.
Right.
They're very reactive. He's very reactive. And the problem with him is that he doesn't stop and think before he runs his mouth. If he did,
you're right.
He wouldn't say half the things he says.
Which one?
Kanye?
Both of them.
Yeah, both of them. Yeah, they're both very, they're very
but
like.
Particularly Kanye.
Kanye, Dad, Kanye. Kanye West, yes.
Kanye West.
I hope he doesn't mess up any Biden's votes. So.
No.
That's what I'm more concerned about. But have you heard of? I don't know if you guys have heard of this. And I'll be very impressed if you've heard of this. The TikTok.
Yes.
Oh,
what
wow.
is that,
I'm impressed.
Yes, that's in China, right?
Right. Exactly. So this.
And I tell you not to get involved with it because the Chinese will get all your information off of that.
Dad, I have some. I have some bad news for you, Dad.
Get off your computer.
Well, why would you want to get the app?
I have some.
That's why it's popular. You play games with it and stuff.
Oh, well,
You shoot videos, Dad. Mom and Dad, you were both on that. You're on my because I have an account. It's kind of like Facebook and Instagram, but it's strictly on videos. And so,
well, what do you think about? Wait a minute. What do you think about Facebook? I mean, now it's permitting all this hate messaging on, and everyone, so many people are upset. I'm thinking of getting off Facebook.
well, we call it hate book. I mean, because Facebook is very negative. It's always been like that. People, for some reason, have no problem saying ridiculously even racial things or mean things to each other on there, even though their name's attached to it. I don't know why they think they can do that, but they do that, and it's just, But Facebook is kind of like, the millennials and the Gen Zers are all using Instagram now. They're using Instagram or Snapchat, so that's what they're using. And stories and stuff like that. I mean, like Facebook is it's like the Walmart of social media. I mean, I don't use it that much anymore either.
I don't know. I think it serves a good purpose, but not when it has all this hate statements and
I saw
lies.
That. Are they going to try to fix that? Is that what they're going to try to do? They're going to try to find a way to fix all that?
They said they're not responsible for it.
Well, they're not.
It's free speech. You can say whatever you want.
Yeah, but the reason why
they tried to censor Trump.
The tweet says censor.
Yeah.
Well, you can obviously censor one person because it's easy to censor because they can just check to see what he's posting. But it's hard to see what, I don't know, some random person is posting. And people post a lot of negative stuff. That's been going on since the beginning of Facebook, by the way, just so you know.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's a lot of negative thing on there. You should go look at, when TV stations post stuff about like Trump. It's just very bipolar. People are just like attacking each other in those comments and stuff like that. It's just not good.
No.
And I don't know why they think it's okay. Yeah.
There has been reports, I don't remember the name, of teenage girls that have been talked about by other guys or other people and messed up their reputation.
Oh, yeah, that's been going on.
Yes, it's been going on a long time. And in a couple of cases, one or two young girls committed suicide.
Yeah, that's been going on for a while. Yeah,
of what happened, and I don't know if the case if they were tried, and I don't know.
Right.
But there's a whole lot of issues. About online stuff that's going to take years to work through.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
it's definitely worse. I'm so lucky not to grow up. I mean, I grew up at the end of that. That's just started just when I finally, when I hit 18 and stuff happened. So I'm so lucky I didn't go through high school with Facebook, which is, it's a close one because that would be murder. I mean, it's bad. It was. It's just so bad right now to go through that. There's a lot more pressure than there was before, and people. They post ridiculous things about people drinking on those things. So, like, your future employer can find that stuff. You know what I mean?
That's terrible.
See, so there's a lot of pressure for young people now, for younger kids because they post drunk photos of them in high school. Like, their prospective employer can see that 20 years later, 15 years later. Just think how there's no drunk photos of me anywhere.
Yeah.
Well,
or you guys.
I wonder how many people that listen to us chatting have strong feelings about the internet and about removing stuff that's really hateful and hurting people. I mean, should there be some sort of censorship on the internet? Some people feel very strongly about it, not having it, because we should have free speech and do whatever we want. And some people feel there should be some censorship, some limited censorship.
Okay, well, let me tell you something.
Well, I can put a poll up for you if you want me to see.
Okay, you can. But free speech comes with responsibility. And when you're sitting there spewing lies, you are not being responsible. If you want to give your opinion and you can back it up with facts, that's another story.
What do you think about President Trump going to Tulsa and now the coronavirus numbers have skyrocketed in that city now? Yeah, did you see that?
You know something? That's common sense.
Right.
If you have a virus that's spread by talking, because, it's droplets from your mouth and you breathe out and you put everyone together side by side with no protection, something's going to happen. And that's common sense.
Right.
Everyone, you can reduce that if you're outside a little bit because it's not a closed area. So you got an open area where it can spread around, not just get in a closed area. It's suicidal. And I wonder about people, regardless of how they feel about Trump, negative or positive, why would they go into an indoor arena when they know there's a good chance they could get sick and die?
Well, they think, Donald, come on. They think it's a hoax.
Well, but they see people die.
I know. They don't.
134,000
They
people.
think it's exaggerated. See,
Well,
because when you don't have top leadership, just a minute. When you don't have top leadership who's saying this is a serious problem and this is what we need to do, and everyone wears a mask and the top leadership wears a mask and social distancing, other people are saying, well, if the president doesn't do it, why the heck should I do it? If the president says it's a hoax, well, maybe it's a hoax. So it's talking about free speech. The president is very irresponsible in reference to this and not taking care of this coronavirus. And not getting all the testing and the masks and whatever people need so that we can get the economy back. And he's just vacant. He's just not doing any leadership. He wants to forget it.
Right.
Well, his problem is that he is just involved in himself. He wants to win the election. So he doesn't care what he says or does, as long as it's going to help him win the election.
Yeah.
That's his shortcoming. But I wanted to say something else and ask a question. When this country was formed, along our Revolutionary War and against England, and when we did win with George Washington, we created a country.
Yep.
That we all have to share with now. They asked Benjamin Franklin. Benjamin Franklin.
Yes,
you all know.
Yes.
Who he is. If you don't, look it up in the dictionary. But Benjamin Franklin,
encyclopedia.
Benjamin Franklin said when they went to him and said, "Oh, we have a democracy. It's a new country now." And Benjamin Franklin said, "Yeah, we have a democracy if they can keep it. The people can keep it." What that means is that in a democracy, you got to be involved and vote and take involved in your community. You need to be active. If you're not, then your democracy will be taken away from you. But wonder how many people saw? Did you see Hamilton? That Disney ran?
Yeah, I haven't watched the whole thing. I only watched the first couple of minutes. I really want to watch the whole thing.
Well,
what did you think of Hamilton? What was your thoughts on that?
I thought it was absolutely brilliant.
Really? Okay.
It was wonderful.
What did you like about Hamilton?
The word was so poetic and meaningful. The acting was fabulous. The setting was really nice. The lighting, the setting, the costume, everything kind of worked well together. That's a great.
You know what? And what he did was he took all of these characters, including Hamilton and Washington and all of them, and they weren't just two-dimensional figures. They had weaknesses. They had strengths. It was more realistic.
Right.
About what was going on. But you know what about Hamilton? The people who were playing the parts were all people of color, which was very interesting.
And Spanish people.
Well, Spanish.
Yeah.
Well, okay, people
of color.
Of color.
Yeah.
And the interesting thing is, as Black Lives Matter has taught us that a lot of these people were slaves and they were not free. So even though July 4th is supposed to be our day of freedom from Britain,
right?
They were freed a long time after.
Their day is June 18th. Juneteenth.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you something about the Revolutionary War and blacks and slaves. George Washington had slaves. But when George Washington died, in his will, he freed all the slaves. They became free.
No, after his wife died.
After his wife died, they became free.
Okay.
So he freed all the slaves. On the contrary, Thomas Jefferson was a wonderful person, a brilliant man, did a lot of things for our country. But in the area of freeing slaves, when he died and his wife died, they didn't free slaves. They didn't free the slaves.
Okay.
No, he didn't free them. And of course, you know that story with Jefferson that he had a child with one of the slaves.
I forgot her name.
I forgot her
yeah,
name.
yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have a lot of mixed messages from our ancestors, our forefathers, our foremothers, the people that started this country. But that's okay.
No, there were no foremothers.
Well,
Women couldn't vote.
no, you're right.
Oh, boy.
Women couldn't vote.
It was just white men with property.
White, actually, not all white men could vote. Only if you own property.
Only if you own property.
Yeah, that's why we're buying a condo now.
Why
so
you're
we
buying a
can vote.
condo? Yeah, I can't vote then. I'm not allowed to vote. I don't own property anymore.
No.
We're buying a condo now, even though we're renting in the wonderful Riderwood community.
You're buying a you're buying.
We're
a
going to buy a condo in
Oh, God.
Howard County so we can vote. How do you like that?
That's pretty good.
My mouth is too big. Would you believe that?
I didn't say
Unbelievable.
My
that.
mouth is too big.
I said, listen a little more.
Listen more.
Yeah. Instead of talking so much.
Well, anyway, I'm still Alexander Hamilton. You know,
It was very.
and it's wonderful to see the difficulty they had compromising. Of course, the big thing in that was the duel between Hamilton and Burr, and Aaron Burr kills Hamilton. And of course, that happened in New Jersey, by the way.
What did? Did it really?
They didn't allow duels in New York. They had to go across the Hudson River to the Jersey side.
Was the PATH
to
train
have a
running
duel.
back then? Was the PATH running? Or
I don't think the path was running.
No.
how did they do that? They had to take a
No,
ferry, I guess.
no. They weren't there. The Giants weren't there. The
What?
Redskins didn't play.
Oh, the
No one
Redskins
was
weren't
there.
there
What do
either.
you
No.
think about all the statues? They're taking down the
Oh.
Confederate.
So the Columbus
So,
statue. Well, I think that's good.
What?
But Christopher Columbus statue in Baltimore was taken down. I went and checked it out. Walked over there.
Christopher Columbus?
Yeah, they took that and they threw it in the Inner Harbor.
Why did
Yeah,
they take
and they threw it in the harbor.
Yeah, I got a video.
Why did they
I think because Columbus had slaves.
well, so
Did he?
did George Washington?
Right, but
Well, they're
No,
trying to
that's
take him down too. So, well, I guess
You know what?
Governor
have-
Hogan wants everybody to. They want to take down these statues, but they want everyone to do it the right way and not pull it down themselves.
Yeah.
And they pulled it down themselves,
But
and they
you know
almost hurt
what?
themselves.
The other thing that I got from Hamilton, I have more respect for George Washington.
Okay.
oh yes,
Yeah,
yes.
because George Washington, he gave up, he accepted power. He was a leader, but then after 2 terms, he said that's enough, and he gave up power.
Wow.
And that's why we had the 2 terms.
Eventually, it stayed that way until FDR
Yeah.
in World War II, and then
then it
they
went back.
passed the amendment to the Constitution, so you can only run 2 terms.
Right. So
Except for Trump, he can only run 1 term.
All right, let's wrap up the podcast today. That was good, though. I like that.
okay.